Running a live video stream on a Raspberry Pi? Yes, you can. Raspberry Pi is just a computer that has LibnginX and with the NGINX software on the Linux computer, you will be easy going. So where does it start? Well, it starts actually on the page of the Raspberry Pi. Buy a Raspberry Pi. No, I'm not sponsored, sorry. I did. This is about 80 euros, 85 euros for a Raspberry Pi 5. Raspberry Pi 5 with 4 gigabytes of RAM. It has a lot of functions I will show you in a second. But this little card is an SD card. I have to get the operating system of the Raspberry Pi on it. So I've got my stick that I can add in here. I can put the SD card in a stick, put the stick in the computer. And then there's a little program on the Raspberry Pi site. Under software over here, you can download the Raspberry Pi software. So I did that already. Here it is. And now I'm selecting actually the Raspberry Pi I have, the 5. I'm looking for the operating system. And why don't I take this one? It's bigger, 1.2 gigabyte, 1.1 gigabyte. I don't need the stuff that's there. That's 232 gigabyte. No, I'll take the 64 gigabyte. What the heck? Yes, I do. And then I'll picking the stick. And hopefully this stick is going to be found. Yes, it is. And then I'm just gonna get next. Yes, I do like to change a couple of options. I put all of this on. I've got the service, HLS service on, and I've got the name, the host name, RP, local. I've got a VC as my username and a password set up. I didn't put the Wi-Fi in because I'm running the cable, the RTPM cable, or the network cable. And then I'm in this region with the keyboards like that, so that's okay. I'm gonna say yes, and then everything on the SD card will be erased. And then hopefully we are up to a good start with a Raspberry Pi operating system running from the SD card when we put it in the Raspberry Pi hardware, the main board. So this is the Raspberry Pi. This size is a full computer. It has a lot. No, it doesn't have a lot of processing power, but enough for all the things that you want to do. Text editing, and video streaming. So that is where I come in. So I use this for my athletes, so I can run a video stream in and then run it out to the screen with a delay. So every athlete can do is try on a technique, go over to the video screen and look at it. That's one of the options. I can also use this to get my live stream in during competition and then run it into the internet, to the YouTube site or to the Facebook site or to the Twitch, or all of the three at the same time. This little board is doing that all. So Raspberry Pi has 4 USB ports. It has network Ethernet cable connector. It has 2 HDMI ports. It has a USB-C port. It has a port for a special camera, even with artificial intelligence. It has SSD card, SD drive heads that you can put on it as extra hardware that you can connect. You could have cases, different cases like this. This is the cheapest case, 5 euros. 8 euros here, 85, 90 in total. I have a complete computer. Okay, so, but other cases will have more functions where the SSD drive goes in, where the HDMI ports are full sized, so you have normal cables instead of the mini HDMI. That's fine. So how does it fit it in? Just click it in. That's all. Fits in. Then there is this head, or actually the case closing. It has a little connector, and that actually needs to be pushed in right behind the USB ports. There's a white cap on it. Pull the cap off, then use this little connector Oh, well, to make it easy, take it out. Especially if you have fat fingers like mine. Yep. Fit it in. I always have to watch out what I'm doing. Come on. How hard can this be? Well, with this thing dangling on here. Okay. Set. Push it back in the case. And in the meanwhile, I can see that the operating system, the installation of that, is almost done. So, good thing that I was having trouble here. So, this is set. Put my USB dongle in for the keyboard. So that's a nice tight fit. It's always a bit hard to get it in. Then I push in the Ethernet cable. I push in the mini HDMI cable into the side. And now we're waiting for the operating system and the power. Now the power is also interesting. This is 27 watt power from Raspberry Pi. I advise to use that. But could you use another cable? Yes, but then when you have extra hardware connected that needs power from this device, from the Raspberry Pi, then it might be short. So take this one, that's all good. So the card is done. I can take it out of the reader. I can take it out of the stick. And then I'm gonna place it into the Raspberry Pi. And before I start Raspberry Pi, I will switch to my other screen. There we go, close all of this. And it's all black. So this should change when I put this in here. And I see there is a light green. Light. Oh, there is sound. So there is already something happening. There's the Raspberry Pi welcome. All good. What else? This will probably take like a half a minute. It is a very light computer, but it is also fast, and the operating system is fast. It is Linux. Could you put a completely text-based Linux version on here? Yes, you can. No, there's no graphical interface. That is actually quite enjoyable, as when you're knowing what to do. If you need a little bit more help, or you need more control, then having the operating system with the graphical interface is, of course, something that you like. All right, let me get this cable out of the way, and then I can see my screen, which would be about ready. I'm expecting a light blue graphical interface in a second with a black mouse. Yes. So that's this mouse. So knowing the Raspberry Pi, if you click on the Raspberry Pi icon over here, you will have this help and this preferences that you can use to set up things. In this case, accessories, what do we have? I need something like preferences. That sounds really good. Mouse and keyboard settings, what do we have over there? I like to have a bigger mouse. Double click keyboard, that's not here. It's a keyboard. No, there's nothing here to make it a bigger mouse. But I'm not giving up yet. Appearance settings, add, move, main menu. Screen configuration. I'll leave this as it is. But what we will do, we need a terminal window to get everything installed properly. And this terminal window, first of all, it's small. Oh, I double tapped, I opened twice. Yep, good job. Close one. So the text is a bit small over here when you're looking at your telephone. So let's see if we can change that a little bit. I guess we can. Let's have something like preferences over here. Let's make this letter type a little bit bigger. Let's say 18. That should be enough for you to see it, look at it. There we go. Background, foreground, palette, VGA. Now it's all good. Audio bell, I don't care about that all. Cursor style, underlined, no. Do we have something with the mouse over here? Don't think so. There must be a way to make the mouse bigger, but we don't need the mouse too much, so we'll leave this like this. Well, you know what? The display, there's a size for this display. Let's make this 140. 120. Okay, 120. And this size is going to be 24, 50, 54, something like this. Okay. And then reopen this. Yes, now it's all bigger. Awesome. And we can work with this. Although the 54 is a bit bigger. Okay, let's adjust it a little bit. Display. And we're gonna do this 40. Close it again. See the effect. Be happy. I'm still not happy, but okay, it is what it is. All right, with this window, we will be fine. Let's say we need to update some Raspberry Pi default software. So how do we do that? We could type in the command sudo, which makes us like the administrator logging in. We have to probably give it a password, and we say update. So let's first see if this new package needs any updates. Yeah, obviously it does. It's already reading the package list. 99% done. 50 or 30 package needs to be upgraded. Okay, we do an upgrade. Apt upgrade, but we're not going to do the normal upgrade. We're going to do the full update. What's the difference? Well, this will also have all the dependencies done. So if there's a file that depends on something else, then it will clean up and get the new dependency. That's what I understood from the documentation. Okay, let me get my stick and put the stick away again. We're done with that. The Raspberry Pi has its SD card already inside, so it's running perfectly. This updating process will just take a little while. Don't forget, we already had the latest version, so there will not be that much updates. And then we're going to install the NGINX software, and then we're going to configure that one. And then hopefully we get it running. We start OBS, we put some stream in there, and then use VLC to see if the stream is really there. There's a couple of checks that we can do to see if software is installed, especially when we use the terminal window. We don't need all of the browsers and stuff like that. It's simpler than that. With enough knowledge of the commands, so whenever I type a comment, take note of it, and then hopefully you can do exactly the same. Not hopefully, you can. Can you do this with Ubuntu instead of Raspberry Pi OS? Oh, Raspberry Pi OS is just a Linux version, okay? So that's for the Raspberry Pi, that's fine. But you can also use a general Linux version like SUSE or Red Hat or whatever, Ubuntu, and put it on the Raspberry Pi. Especially when you use the server version of Raspberry Pi, then you have this nice light, non-graphical interface. Woo! You can also do everything with the terminal. You can even do it with the terminal from outside, from a Windows machine, over your network into the Raspberry Pi. It doesn't even need a screen. All right, enough bragging. Let's go and continue with a clear command. CL, so here it is, CLERRE, whatever. My English and the E and the R in my Dutch and English is a bit confusing sometimes. Just look what I type. All right, so we need to have a sudo apt install of the library NGINX, which is a nice piece of software with the modification for the RTMP streaming. Enter. Okay, yes, I do want to install it. Once you have installed it, it will run immediately. And it will run even if you are rebooting your PC. This is server software, so it's a service. It will run in the background all the time. If not, make sure you enable it. To check if it's working, we could actually type a command, sudo system control status of NGINX. This will tell us if it works, and you see it already in green, active, it's running, yoo-hoo! And there's a whole 4 or 5 lines of log that says, okay, it's starting the service, it's reloading the service, yeah, okay, it's running, and it gives me some extra information. So default NGINX runs without any configuration. What does it do? It serves one lousy web page. One. You want to see it? We go over to this Chromium browser in the top left corner. Open that browser. Don't know if I already clicked it properly, but now I did. First time starting it up, might take a little time. I bet I started up twice. It starts up the Raspberry Pi default page, but if you go to the local host, which is simply this machine, this Raspberry Pi, it will show you the welcomes to NGINX page. That is the whole page that the current configuration is running. Now we have to fix that. We have to make sure that we can host the live streams. Okay. Let's go out of here with an end key. This little keyboard needs Control FN, end. And then I can again do a clear command so we see what we're doing. So this configuration file is put in a folder, etc, and then in the NGINX folder, and there's a nginx.config. Okay, let's go there. To read it, you need a text editor or some editor, and there is Nano by default installed on most Linux systems. So use it, learn it, it's easy, and then you can run it. So now you only need to know where this file is, and it is in the etc folder, and then in the nginx folder you find this nginx config. If you don't make typos, then you might actually find it. There you go. There we go. So here is the whole configuration file. So what are we looking at? Well, it's only serving one lousy page, and it's going to do that for a lot of worker connections in this event section. I call this a section because it's a name and then an opening colon and a closing colon. No, not a colon. It's curly braces. So then we have another section, HTTP. This is the actually serving of that web page. There's a lot of configuration here, but it expects actually that you do, of course, a lot of more web page than just a simple web page. And then you get a section for your email, which is hashed out, or actually it is simply commented out, and we are going to remove it. Well, let's see if we can remove it. I'm pressing down the shift key, pressing down up the arrow key, then pressing delete. Okay, that doesn't work. well, then I just keep my delete key down until everything is gone. I'm still a bit of a newbie myself in Linux, so shortcut keys is not my specialty. There we go. Having everything deleted, and we're just going to back. This was the end of the HTTP section. So what we're going to add is an RTPM section. RTM. Did I say RTPM? I mean MP. Okay. And a colon open. And for every colon that you open, you have to close it as well. So let's do that right away, so we cannot make a mistake. And in between here, we are going to do the rest of the configuration. So that configuration says, okay, we need a server for this section, and on that server is running on a default port. It listens on port 1935 for RTPM type of signals. Don't forget to close this with a semicolon. And then this also, it receives video, and those video needs to be like sized so it can make sense of it. So we're gonna have a chunk size of 4096, 69, 96, 96. That's the default, semicolon, close. Now we need a channel, because we can have like a lot of streams coming in, a lot of streams coming out. But we need channels that tell software or hardware that is sending a stream where to go. And then on the other hand also where to get stuff. That addressing will also be taken care of in a second. So let's take a simple restream. So if we put a stream in here and we like to just direct it to some other place. Why would you want to do this? For example, you want to have one stream going to your YouTube, to another YouTube channel, to Facebook, to Twitch, or whatever place you want to distribute it to. So this is just distributing it. Okay, so we have an application with a name. That's a channel name. And let's call it, well, it's decent to have the first one always called live. Can you have any other name? Yes. If I want to name this Restream, I can. So, oh, I need a space though. So Restream, fine. We're gonna have Restream and not live. Why not? With a colon open and a colon. Oh, the server needs to be closed. Ooh, we forgot that. Ooh. Bad, bad, bad. Okay, so now we're having this. I'll enter again. Close this. Yep. So the first thing you're going to tell the Restream is that it is active. So, or in other ways, it's on. Switch on. Make sure that this works. Okay. And then the stream that comes in, you want to record that stream? No, I don't. So put that off. And then where do you want to go with this stream? Well, I want to push this stream to my YouTube channel. Where's my YouTube channel? It's on the RTPM. Okay, how do you get this address where to stream to? Well, look at here. This is my web page for a stream. And it says over here, RTPM a blah, blah, blah. Copy this one. I cannot copy it, it's on the other computer, but I will type this as an address. And then together with this key. And if I do that correctly, it will stream it to here. Okay, let's try that. Yeah, RTPM colon backslashes a dot rtmp dot youtube.com /live2. Yeah, I know it says live, but that's just what this text says over here. And then you need to have to put your key in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you get to see, because you're not going to see my keys, right? Well, I could make a temporary key, And then actually let's do that. Let's take a temporary key. So setup new. Yep. Oh, yeah. Yep. I just did that. Need to replace it again. Okay, I need to make a new stream. Okay, I messed up. Well, doesn't matter. So I'm just going here. Plan a stream. Make a new one. Physical shows, yeah, sure, why not? Streaming software, yes. Thumbnail, I don't care about thumbnail. Playlist, no. This is going to be a temporary one, so I'm just going to say that it is invisible. It's a private one, yep. Actually, hidden one, I don't care. Ready? Then I will set this key again. And now I've got a key. Good. That's a nice key. Temporary key. Fine. So I cannot copy it, so I have to type it in. Too much screens on here. Where's this text? All right, now I can read the key. XQ UM minus. Then we have a WQ. It disappears. WQVY. W. Oh, I'm so bad in this. I really suck in this. Yeah, see, already make mistakes. And the last one is okay. And don't forget to end with a semicolon. So that's the key. If I didn't make mistakes, it will work. And that's all I need to do. Remember this restream. And now we're just gonna save this. So this is not gonna do live streaming yet locally, but this one is just gonna push it up. And you can have as much push commands in here if you like. So if you think I need to push to something else as well, then you go just push and then put in the next address. Yeah. Okay, I'll comment this one out so you can actually see that it is there, but it will not work. Good. If this was correct, it's a temporary key, then we will be okay. So Control X to save this. We have closed all the brackets, all the curly brackets. So yes, and enter. And now we need to restart NGINX. So that's sudo system control restart NGINX. Now the funny thing is, if I made mistakes in the file, which I usually do, I make typos all the time, then NGINX will tell me, because it will simply not start. It will get a red text and say, hey, listen. To check that, you can also simply go here and say, you know what, give me the status. In this case, everything is fine because it's active. There's 2 lines there that says, hey, you restarted it. Fine, everything is fine. Control Fn end, or a new keyboard, different keyboard, that's fine. So it's restarted, it's running, it should do something. What should it do? Well, first of all, if I open a streaming program, and let me put this on the side over here. So this is the web page. So if we have a live stream that comes from the Raspberry Pi NGINX server, then it will show up here. So what we do now is get OBS. This is OBS. Well, full screen OBS looks like this. For now, I'm gonna make it small again. Come on. Put it on the side over here so we have nice divided. And we need to change the settings. And the stream settings needs to be set to this RTPM server on the Raspberry Pi. Now I know that Raspberry Pi has an IP address of 180. How do I know that? How do I know that? Well, I was paying attention when I installed it. You might not do that. So if you didn't do that, then you need to actually see what the Raspberry Pi IP address is. So let's see if we can figure that one out. If you type ifconfig on the Raspberry Pi, this command will show you settings of the machine. Over here it says 180. So that's my IP address. If you don't have this because you used Ubuntu or SUSE and it doesn't have this ifconfig command, then make sure you install that by using sudo sudo apt install and then net minus tools. Already installed over here, so if I hit enter, it will say, you know what, not installed because you already have it. It's already the newest. It says it over here. It's already the newest. But you can have that, and then you have this command ifconfig, and it shows you everything you need to know. So that said, clear this. We're still busy trying to figure out if we are going to restream this. So restream, have OBS in the other window, get to the settings again, and now here in the stream we're gonna have an RTMP, no, wrong keyboard, RTMP, backslashes, colon, and then backslashes. And then the address was on the same network, so 192.168. You might have completely different addresses. You have to figure that one out yourself. And then 180 was this machine. And we had made a restream channel to stream to. And over here, this key, it really doesn't matter. I usually put in OBS, but it doesn't even, for this, what we're doing now, it doesn't need it. We need it later. I'll leave this open. It doesn't matter that it's there. Just apply and say OK. All right, so let's start this streaming button and see what happens. So it connects to something. It is green over here in the bottom. It sends 10,000 kilobits per second somewhere. And magically, my web page is telling that there is a stream. So this means that stream goes to the address. So that stream is the OBS stream, goes to the little Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi receives it on channel restream, says, hey, nice, got a stream. What do I do with it? Oh, I got a command over here that tells me to push it to YouTube, to that particular RTPM channel again, the different channel, but now on from YouTube, with this key. Done. I can go live. If I go live, I can see it. Go live. It's a hidden stream, so it says you're live. Copy this video, this thing. What are we sending? We're sending actually what we're doing right now. That's okay. We can do a test stream like this. So this will show up. Let's go and open this link over here. It's a hidden stream, but let's see, play. Yes, here we are. And in a few seconds, it will show probably whatever I switch over here, it will show soon enough. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. So how many seconds will there be between? Well, it's a small server over there, so that is delaying it a bit. And then, oh, there we go. And there we're switching. Yeah, that's all what we did in a second ago. So this part works. So now we're going to do this with VLC to have locally. We don't want the internet always. Actually, for example, for privacy reasons, you want to keep everything on your own server. Never stream it to YouTube. So nobody has to worry about that the video materials are spreading all over the net. Especially when you're coaching kids, that is a good way to go. It's a safe way. You can actually tell everybody, hey, listen, it stays on this little Raspberry Pi. That Raspberry Pi gets deleted, it's all gone. Actually, we can even tell it to delete files every day, or after recording, or just. You probably have to write a little code for that, but that's fine. You can do that. You have complete control. Great. So what's next? We're going back to the configuration file. We are stopping this stream. We already did that. We're back over here. I don't know where I put it in. Oh, I probably took the wrong keyword. We're going back to the configuration file, and we're going to allow HLS streaming. And HLS is a way of saving the streams, making it readable for web pages or other programs outside, and also being able to browse through the playlist that you offer. Okay, I'll explain more about that in a second. So let's go in here and let's go first and make a different channel. We're going to make a streaming channel for HLS. There. I put an extra space in there to make it clear. So we have another application. I hate this name, but we're going to make a channel. And the channel name is going to be HLS. And it has a semicolon to open and of course a semicolon to close this. So what else do we need in here? Well, again, this live on only tells that this channel is active. If I said live off, and this channel will do nothing. I'm not going to record it as such. The raw stream is not going to be recorded. But I do want to have, of course, my HLS. So I'll do another space over here. You know what? I'll do a hashtag HLS. So this is the section that actually is different. Could you combine this with the other channel? Yeah, you could have everything in the same channel if you like, but then you have less choices and the power that the Raspberry Pi needs might be bigger. So, if you have a bigger computer or a bigger server, yeah, fine, do it. Okay, so HLS is on. That's the first command. The second command is that you have to say where to write the video, because now we are saving a lot of video so people can browse through that video. So it's a live stream, but you can, just like YouTube, you can go back and look at the start of the video while it's still recording already for 2 hours or more or less. HLS. There's the path where it is stored needs to be made, but there is a temporary directory. So that temporary directory is something that we're going to use. And in the temporary directory, we're going to make a new directory, or if you rather call the directory folder, we make a new folder called HLS. Good. Semicolon close. then all the pieces of video have a size, and this size is being mentioned with the time that is hidden in the fragment, or hidden with the fragment is showing time in seconds. So like you have 2 seconds recording, and then you have new recording and new recording. So you have a lot of little chunks of video that come in, running in. Okay, so we're going to make it 1 second, the smallest size that you can have for a chunk, 1 second. Okay, and then all of that will be shown in a playlist, and that playlist is actually what you play, what you ask for when you have VLC or some other program asking for that stream. You ask actually for the playlist. Okay, so we have an HLS playlist, and of course it has to be an underscore. That underscore has a length, and that length is in this case 3 hours. So that's going to be 1 hour is 3,600 seconds. So now times 3 is 10,800. Semicolon close, and then this whole thing should be closed within already, and that closed. This should be good enough for the RTPM section, but we also need to make a change in the HTTP section. So we go to the HTTP section, which is over here. In the end over here, we're going to add a server. And this server, let's close this as well. This server, what is it? It has to listen to a port. I'm going to just let it listen to port 80, which is the default port for internet anyway. So if I have a web page, it listens to port 80. So if I'm serving a stream, it's also going to listen to port 80. Could I do something else? Yeah, I could put port 8080 over here. I'm fine with that. But no, I'm lazy. I don't like all the ports open. I like only one port open. By the way, Raspberry Pi by default has all ports open, so we're gonna fix that as well. So listen to port 80, and the server underscore name is the IP address of the server. Do we know the IP address? Yeah, I know the IP address. We already saw that 180 with the if command, so 168.178.180. This is the server name. Then we have the location that we are asking for. So when you get a stream from this server, you need to tell it where it is. So the location, the address that you connect to is /HLS. The address is not the real folder. We're gonna make it a folder in a second. We're gonna tell it where it gets the rest. So this is the end, and we are going to have show configuration in here as well. So that configuration, I have to look it up a little bit over here. It needs the types of video it can show. In this case, the type of video is the Apple format, which is the HLS format. I didn't think of that. That's Apple did that. Yeah. And if you do dash, then it's Microsoft, or actually probably some other companies as well. Doesn't matter. So what do we have? The application vnd.apple.mpeg URL M3U8. What the hell is that? Well, the M3U8 is the playlist extension. So we're looking for an MPEG URL that has an extension with M3U8. Okay, good. So what kind of other types are we here? Well, we have a video, type is video, MP3T, And the file, the chunks of file are all TS files. So .ts. Number 1 TS, number 2 TS, number 3 TS, number 4 TS. And that's all going to be in the playlist, the M3U8 playlist. Good. All of that set. Need more configuration over here on the same line in the location. And that says something like the root folder, where do we get everything, is the temporary folder. Okay. And then we only need a header. Add a header, cache, control, no cache. Don't ask me what this means, I have no clue. I didn't even try to leave it out and see if it works. I just found it somewhere, this configuration, and I just took it, copied it, found out how it worked, and I thought that's good enough for me. Alright, so that should be actually all. And then when you do this, you should actually save it. Control X. Hopefully we didn't make typos, otherwise we'll find out. Yes. And then we have to restart NGINX. Let me see. Yep, restart NGINX. If there's any errors, it will show up now. And there are errors. I already know what it is also. I never told it which port number to listen to. The 1395 port. So if that happens to you, simply open again and figure out what you done wrong. So I'm going down over here. And I told it to listen to that port. Oh, port 80. Oh, I might have made a mistake, another mistake than I like. All right, let's see. Server. Let's do an extra line in here. So, oops. Tab. We are listening to port 80, semicolon close. We have a server name, which is the IP address with the semicolon close. We have a location. Oh, yeah, well, we have a location, but we never made this folder HLS. So that might be one of the mistakes. I'm going to check that. Well, I'm going to run through this anyway, but see if I find any other stuff that is maybe wrong. Simply because I make a lot of typos. IP VNeer, that's all looks good. That is absolutely wrong. That should be a 2. I don't know why I put a 3 in there. Probably a fat finger hitting something, or I simply made a mistake. Then I've got a root with the folder. So it checks for this folder, for this root, and then checks for the HLS. For now, I think this is okay. Did I make any mistakes over here? This application is still there, so I didn't change that. So this is live on, record off, HLS on, path, fragments, playlist, length. The word length, I tend to spell that crooked, with the T and the H mixed up. But in this case, I have typed it correctly. So I think I found already one error, having not made the folder. So Control X, yes, config. Okay, so how do you make the folder? Oh Jesus, sudo mk-make directory -p, which is a setting. Where do we make it? We make it in the in the /temp/HLS. That's the folder we're going to make. Enter. That seems to be okay. Now we need to make sure that this folder is being accessible for everybody. So sudo chmod -R 777 /temp /hls. That seems to be okay. Now let's start the server again. Still a problem. So we have to figure out again in the file. This was needed anyway, so we needed to do that. Let's look again to this very thorough. Server, I'm pretty sure that I wrote that well. I'm checking, no worries, I didn't fall asleep. Root, cache. Well, if I didn't make the mistake over here, I made the mistake somewhere else, eh? Simple as that. Usually it is simple things. Oh, I hate this. What did I do wrong? And if you're looking with me, you probably already found it. But I didn't. Counting the curly braces. Curly braces open, curly braces close, curly braces open, close, open, close. That adds up. Well, what I can try is to see if the folders are active enough, if they're open for reading. So let's open the file browser. I have made a folder HLS in the temporary directory. So first of all, is the temporary directory accessible? Properties, and the permissions over there should be anyone. Yeah, that's good. So then in this, I've made this HLS, properties, permissions, anyone, all good. So how about we reboot this thing, Control X, yes. Or ask for the status. That also sometimes gives a real good clear view on what is going on. read simply what it says. Okay, so NGINX configuration file test fails. Unknown directive. Unknown directive. Ooh, what is it? I have to make this a little bit bigger. Add header. Oh, the header is typed wrong. It should be an underscore. Thank you. There we go. Config. We're not rebooting. We're just correcting the error. The header is here. Yes, I see it. Oh, I'm stupid. As said, this is usually typos. Underscore. Control X. Yes. All right. And now we're gonna start NGINX. It starts. Let's check the status just to make sure. Status is enabled. It's running. It's all good. So now we can test it. So let's get OBS again. And actually VLC. This is VLC. You can download this from the app stores, from all platforms. It's running on all platforms. And then we have, where's the other thing? We have the OBS over here. And we're gonna park it over here in the corner. We are gonna change the settings because now we are stream, not to restream, but we're gonna stream to HLS. No, wrong keyword. HLS. That's the thing that we connect to. And there we have this key OBS as a file name. And we can say apply and OK. And if we did everything right, then this should start streaming. So we can check that. This should be lighting up green. Yes, we have a connection. We are streaming 10,000 kilobits per second. All good. We don't have any firewall in between because the default of our Raspberry Pi is no firewall. We're gonna install a firewall though. Okay, so where do we get this stream? Well, in the VLC player, we're going to have to open a network stream. And we are going to the HTTP address. Let me see if I already have something which looks like it. HTTP. This is an HTTP with the right port number, 80, HLS OBS. This is actually the playlist that we want to reach. Okay, there it is. Okay, that's totally not useful. That's oh well, there's a text running. Yeah, no, it's working. So now I'm sending out my live stream, and then that will change in the VLC player in a second. We can see that the stream is already 1 minute and 6 seconds. Every time there is 1 second coming, every so much time there's seconds coming with. 14 seconds now. Here, now we switched, that's good. Let's switch again to something else. Let's some test stream over here, this one. So I can browse actually to this stream. I can just hop over and now I'm at 12 seconds. So now I like to see the new stream. So this is actually giving me access to the whole playlist and all the chunks of video. You want to see that? Okay, I'll leave it streaming like this. And now we're going back to the Raspberry Pi and to the file system. Different mouse, not confusing the Windows mouse with the Linux mouse. We're going back to the folder, a temporary folder, and we're going to the HLS folder and look at that. And if I refresh this, every 3 seconds there's a file coming, adding here. Look at here, there's another, number 34. And you see that the key name, the OBS, from the OBS program I made a key OBS. That's also, so this is working perfectly. Nothing more to say, except for that we're going to do some firewall settings, because you don't want to have everybody entering all the ports and all the facilities and all the services on the Raspberry Pi. So we're gonna kill that a little bit. All right, so you know what? I'll leave everything running just because it's funny, and it will disconnect when we are actually, I don't know what I did here, by the way. A log file, I opened a log file. Okay. Close that. All right, so we are going to use the firewall UFW. Don't know what it stands for. Something like Unified Firewall or Ubuntu Firewall or I don't know. Sudo apt install UFW. Enter. So this is all going well. Install it? Yes, I do. And this firewall is not active after you had installed it. So if I now ask for the firewall, I say sudo system control status UFW. It says, well, service uncompleted firewall loaded, active, inactive, and it's dead. But I can already tell which ports should be open for this firewall when I make it active. So we're going to do that to make sure that we're not going to interrupt the stream. So sudo UFW allow traffic, allow port 80. I'm going to get a comment on it so I know that this is, and I have to type a little, I don't know, and just a single, I don't know what it's called in English. And I say, this is the HTTP port 80 rule. Close it with a little thingy as well. And now I'm adding these rules. I also need the rule for port 1935. Okay, so that also needs one. And that's the RTMP 1935 port. So this is where it receives this. So we're going to add this as well. And now I'm going to make this active. Set it sudo UFW enable. There we go. Firewall is active and enabled, and the stream did not cut. It's still running. Let me drag these other windows again over here. And you can still see that it is simply, whoops. Make it smaller, yep. Simply still streaming whatever I like to stream. And this is all local. There's no internet involved. Yes, I have internet now because I'm working on my local machines, but if I just run the Raspberry Pi on a router that has no internet connection, then I'll be fine. I bet I could even run it without any routers, just by giving the fixed IP address and then giving the other device also a fixed IP address and just connect a cable in between two Raspberry Pis. Then that will also probably work. Now I'll leave that for somebody else to show. That is networking. This is only streaming, and I can only say that everything works as it should work. So how cool is that? It is cool. Yes, it is cool. You have to admit it is cool. It's so cool that you're now going to press a thumbs up to like this video. If you feel like it, also subscribe to my channel. So that helps others to find this as well. The more people put a thumb up, cost you nothing. Even subscribing is not giving you any cost. It is just for me that I will have more people find these videos. So my efforts are being rewarded by members or thumbs up. Jesus, that's why you do it? I don't know, probably. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time.